Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I'm back. It's Sunday. I still need to move that thing. It's Sunday. We're in September, the 18th. I hope everybody's well. I am technically COVID free. I'm negative from COVID now, but it lingers. So as always, I'm a psychic medium. I'm a spiritualist reverend, and this is a practice doing readings that's covered under the auspice of my religion. It's a religion. I don't feel like it's a religion because there's no dogma, there's no sacred text that we follow, just mostly the golden rule: do unto others. Hi, Allie. And we believe in a higher power and that there's life beyond death, that kind of stuff. But for legal purposes, all readings and divinations are for the purposes of entertainment only. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. Let's see. Trying to think about the news. My brain is a little like from this COVID, a little forgetful, and my smell is off, but not as bad. I didn't like last time I lost it completely. This time I just like my daughter had lotion on last night, and I couldn't smell it at all. It smelled like old lotion, not like new lotion. I don't know how to explain it. It is what it is. Thank you. I feel better. I definitely don't have my energy back. I went to Target and I'm like exhausted. I was like, oh, I'll go run over to Whole Foods. And then I was like, nope, not going to happen. I'm going home. I'm tired. So that's my excitement. And yes, I was fully masked. And yes, I will be wearing a mask from now on out because I don't want COVID again. This is insane. That's my excitement. All right. I don't know if anybody wants to ask a question. Go for it. You're up. I've got the list up. Deborah, Allie. Starry Sky is not going to be here, but she wanted to know if Trump is going to be indicted. No, if he's going to be. Let me look at what she wrote. Is Trump going to be found guilty of treason? So I'll ask that later. Hi, Deborah. Okay. I'm not going to charge you, Deborah. I'm going to give you your money back, but I am going to. I do know somebody who works with darker energies that I could send you to. She's Canadian, so she might be able to help you. It's not that I can't. I've removed stuff like that, but I haven't ever done it as a service for anybody else. I've removed it for myself, and it's like the same way that I did for you. I'm not doubting you at all. So let me. I will look up your information. Look up her information and I will email it to you. So let me do that. Let me just write a note for myself. Her name is Sarah and she's out of Canada. And I know she can do distance stuff. So okay. I'm going to give you your money back. So unless you have a question, I want you to let me know and I'll refund your money because that's like nothing I don't feel like I can charge you for that. It's just a referral. Okay. Okay, you have a question? Okay. I was just about to hit the refund button. Yeah, I'm so sorry that that's going on for you. That's happening. It is removable. It's not something you're stuck with. I think that part of the reason it's getting stronger is because you're getting stronger. So it's having to work a lot harder to get your attention and get your fear and all of that. It's not fun. Um, and I'm really sorry you're experiencing that. Okay, so if you want to ask your question, and then I've got a note written down. It's going to take me a minute to. Her name is Sarah, and I just can't think of like my brain is like in order to like. So I'm going to send it to you afterwards, where I can sit and like jog my memory. I will tell you, we had a weird experience. My middle daughter ended up getting COVID. So my oldest got it. My oldest got it. My husband got it, and then my middle daughter ended up getting it. So far, my youngest has not gotten it. But she had a night where she was sleeping with me, and she was like, "Mommy, I feel somebody touching me." And it was after last Sunday, and I'm sort of wondering if it attached to me for a little bit. But like, I was kind of drifting off to sleep, and it was like I was in this field of like anxiety, fear. Like it was really weird because it wasn't like a solid. It was like being in a floaty type feeling, and then distinctly, and like it was like I was in a. It was like a very scary, anxiety ridden place, and but I knew it was something energetically going on around me. So that's weird, but sometimes the psychic stuff is like being on drugs. I've never done anything but smoke pot, but uh, I've been with the sober person with people who are on out, who've tripping, and doing those things. And like, where I was like, oh, I don't need to like, I get to see all that stuff without what you're, like, I don't need that to get, I can see energy and all that. But I want that. Like, it was like really like wanting the fear and that, like, it was weird. So, no, I actually got immediately, no, she's not sick. I feel like discussions have been happening around her. Um, like between her and her peers or just people where it's sort of like it's a smart thing to do this kind of stuff. It's a smart thing to be prepared. It's a smart thing to like make sure you have your affairs in order. Like even one of my TikToks, I said it's like almost like even like, so I'm not saying she watched this, but like I did a TikTok where I talked about it's okay to talk about death. It's okay to talk about like what you want, and you want to do those things because you don't want to leave the people behind who are still here wondering if it's what you wanted, wondering if they're doing what's right, like feeling having that guilt and having that fear, like that's something you can relieve them very easily. So no, I don't feel like she's um when I read the don't trust me thing, I heard she doesn't trust anyone. So it's not about you, it's about I have to clean up the language that's being used. So like she got effed over really bad when she was little. Um, Taken advantage of, physically and verbally abused. So like a lot of the stuff that's out there, it feels like no one is safe, really. Like I got to do it all myself. I got to take care of myself. I got to do it all on my own. Hi, Rothko. It's been a long time. I hope you're well. um, so it's not really about that she doesn't trust you. She just doesn't really trust anybody. Um, so I don't feel like she leaves everything to you, like, or all the responsibility with everything, but I feel like the important stuff, whatever that means. This is really interesting because I feel like she might have even seen something about, I don't know if you know this, but like Aretha Franklin had like a hand signed will apparently. And so there was a lot of issues with all of the money that she had in her estate. There was a lot of issues when she passed with her children and not having really like a formal will or trust set up. Um, and it's funny because I feel like she might have either maybe even seen that where she's like, I'm not going to do that. So again, it's like that same personality of like, I can't trust anybody to do this for me. I'm going to make sure it's like set up. Um, I don't, okay. So here's the other thing is I don't think she's got like, I think she has enough health problems that sort of come with age and maybe not taking care of yourself the best in life. And where she's at age wise, where she's like, okay, this is smarter for me to think about this than to not think about it. So it's like one of those things like where I said to my mom, I don't think you're going to die anytime soon, but like get this shit in order so that, like it's not one of those things that goes by the wayside. And I feel like she's doing that to be really on top of it. So I feel like you said she had kidney problems. I feel like she's prone to kidney stones. And I feel like there's some kind of genetic, not genetic, some like congenital anomaly where the anatomy is slightly off in her kidneys that sets her up for having this. Like, I don't know what this is called, what the tube thing is like. Maybe it's supposed to be angled like draining like this way, and hers is kinked up and around. So it creates some kind of issue. Are you having a lot of headaches and nausea, Devery? Did you open your windows when you did the clearing? So I feel like the headaches and the nausea are not related to like a physical stuff. I think it's this thing around you. It's weird because it sounds like it reminds me of like it does all these weird sounds. Hi, Sky Blue. Do I ever feel hypocritical? No. But why are you here? So I'm a spiritualist reverend. This is a part of my spiritual belief. And if you don't believe in this, that's okay. You don't have to, but you can leave. Like, I'm not going to be trolled here. This is my channel. I don't know what to tell you. So Deborah, I'm going to send you thanks, Linda. Do I have a time frame? I don't. Also, that hypocritical is probably the wrong word you're thinking of. What you might be wanting to think of is a charlatan, right? Because hypocritical would be like I'm saying one thing but doing another. But what I think the word you're looking for, if you're looking at vocabulary, Sky Blue, is charlatan. I know I'm not a charlatan. So I do most of my work is word of mouth, people seeing that I'm the real deal. But if we're going to use come in and be trolly, let's be proper vocabulary about our trolling. Okay. I just feel like staying. So the only thing I feel like when I would say this to you is the only reason I'd say maybe stay there for a night, just see if it calms down if it's for the night, because I don't feel like I don't know that it's attached to you or if it's attached to the apartment. I have to be honest. Is there a cemetery by your house? Like now they're showing me like big crosses, but I don't feel like you know me and my belief system that I'm not really into the whole like the power of Christ compels you. But I'm going to send you to Sarah for all of this because I really feel like this is probably like this is work she does. There was a fire there. Okay. So that's why I think it might be that attached to that experience. Because when I was doing that last week, all I could see was myself standing in fire. And maybe I was either the person that started it or some was the result of it. Oh, thank you, Linda. See, community is important. We can all pull together our resources. That's why I was standing in fire. I'm like, why am I standing in fire? And I think the reason why I was telling you the story then about telling you the story about I know that I can remove that, but I just feel like because I've removed something like this from my own house, whatever, this land type thing. But I don't know why, like, I just feel like I'm not feeling confident in myself to do that. Or like not wanting to delve into it. But I think the reason why I said I started telling the story about that thing that I had attached in my house, that it was like whatever that is a spirit that didn't cross over. It didn't feel like they were deserving to cross over. And when I'm connecting into it, it's not something that's like, there's a very like, not like it's a child that did it, but the energy behind it is very like, some scary beings are like higher intelligence or darker or whatever. This one's like reminds me of, what's that Looney Tunes character that's like blah, blah. Like it makes all these like noises and then it spins around. I can't think of the name of it. But that's what he keeps sounding like to me. Like it's just like where I'm like, no, you don't. It just like it's very, I want what I want, what I want. And it's so unable to be like focused on anything other than that. And yes, it sounds like the Tasmanian devil. Yeah, but that's the way it's making me sound here. It doesn't mean it doesn't talk, but it's like, I want that. It's very like, so even though it's saying to you, like, die, whatever, it has no control over you in that way. The only thing it can make you do is like, for somebody who's not grounded, it will cause them to do things that it shouldn't do. So grounding in, connecting with the earth, so you can see a light connecting from the heavens down, straight down through your body, and then deep down into the earth, and see yourself balanced and grounded. Carry around the little stones too. Like notice when I started to connect in, I grabbed the selenite, and then I have the smoky quartz. Okay, I'll check it, Rothko, in a minute. Put the tourmaline and the smoky and a dark stone. It doesn't even have to be any dark black stone will help ground through you, but just keep it on you for now. And then if it's touching you right now, it's no, that's a boundary. You're not allowed to touch me. Don't tolerate it. You're not allowed to touch me. It's time for you to leave. I'm sending you with love. I appreciate you letting me know that you're here. It's time to go. Okay. So we're going to connect you. I'm going to kind of like move away from this. The reason why it gets worse at night is like with any ability to connect in, it's always easier at night because you don't have all the other input from the day. Like you don't have all the other distractions. It's just you quiet in a room. Like everything calms down. But if you say, I can't do this, it gets like, then you won't be able to. So Linda is going to send me the information and I'll send it to you. And then I will also give you Sarah's information. So you have a couple people that you can connect with and see, who fits. I can actually send you 2 people, but so we'll end up having 3 people for you to choose from. Our beliefs create our reality. So when we say like, I can't do this, then you can't. Like if you can't get beyond that, it's really hard to. And I'm not scolding you at all. It's like, maybe it is important if you have a belief system that when you were younger, that Jesus was the savior. And I'm like not judging it. I'm literally saying this. And like Jesus will get rid of evil and demons and all that. Call on Jesus in this moment. So surround you to like keep you safe, to protect you, to fill the room, fill the space. Like do that. Get some crosses. Because I know you don't want to get hurt. But what I'm saying is like call in whatever it is on a core belief system level that you were trained to believe, like raised to believe. Call that, because it's really there so deep that it's just it will give you more strength, is the best way I can put it. I know you don't want to get hurt, but so in that, when you're like, I can't do it, it's like a back and forth. We will send you the information, okay? But I'm going to move us along now, okay? And I don't have a time frame for when. I hear 2 weeks, but I don't know that it'll take that long, unless it's like whoever you're working with, that's the time frame that they have. Okay? Just hang in there and we'll send you the information, okay? Rothka, did you send it over Venmo or PayPal? You don't like, I'm just curious where I'm looking for it, but I'm it's fine. Okay, Allie, are you here? Okay. I didn't see it on Venmo, but that's weird. Oh, I just got it. Okay. Okay, go ahead and ask your question, Allie. Oh, you can put your recommendation there. That's fine. Linda, I didn't see that you typed that. Oh, that's okay. If anybody thinks about it or does it, please just send lots of light and strength and healing over to Deborah and protection. If you think of it, if it's something you do, she can use all of that she can get. Okay, I saw it. Thank you. It's weird because I don't think it's your imagination. I don't know but I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think that you're incompetent. I don't think that you're not capable of the job. It's this feeling of like someone new coming in and like talking crap about you. And so it's like creating questionable behavior. Like that question in your boss's head that's like, oh, maybe I need to stay on top of this. So I'm going to tell you about an experience that I had. I was a travel nurse, and I went in this one clinic. I was working for a while, and there was one nurse who was incredibly insecure, and she started talking shit about me to everybody. Now, I think she was afraid I was trying to take her job, but like I wasn't. Um, I tend to like, I am very task oriented, right? So if I'm given a task, I make sure it gets done. So at one point, they had me make all of the callbacks for the entire clinic every single day. They were having me do this, just make all the callbacks from the day before to check on everybody. So like up to 300 people a day. Just like I would just sit there and call and call and call and call and call, but I would get them all done. Charted, done, everything. So I was getting done more than like when they had me focused doing on, I was able to get it done. I was somebody who worked hard and worked like I am. I've been referred to by coworkers as a workhorse. Like I just work and I work hard. Because my mentality has always been like, I mean, and this might be the neurodivergence in me, but like I'm not really at work, or even in high school, I was like, I'm not here to socialize. I'm here to be like to learn and get out of here. Like I'm kind of a weirdo. Anyway, we've established that. And so I'm kind of a weirdo. Okay, so this nurse was like an awful person. Like, well, she wasn't awful. Okay, she was just really insecure and like just very gossipy, and like she would talk about me to other travelers, and so at one point I was pretty pregnant, and the manager called me into the office with her and the charge nurse and was like asking me about the drama that was happening. And I like, honestly, I didn't even get caught up in it. I just figured out what was going on. I was like, whatever, I don't really care. Like I just want to work. Like that's all I want to do. I just want to work. And so I just looked at her flat in the face and I was like, if I'm the problem here, fire me. I know how my contract works. You can fire me without cause on the spot and I'm gone. So if I am the problem and you genuinely think I'm the problem, because I don't want to be the troublemaker here, like that is not, I don't want to be the person that's creating all the problems. And if I'm creating the problems in your clinic, then fire me and get rid of me. And they're making me feel that experience because that's what's happening to you. Is it's not you that's the problem. It's this other person that's creating all the problems and like whispering in ears. And I will tell you, anytime I've seen that be the case, like, because it happened in another, people don't like me because I follow policy and protocol. Because I am like, I was always about like advocating for patients and advocating for the residents that lived at, like when I worked at a long-term care facility, and I create headaches because I'm like, no, you can't do that. Like that's not, because it's medicine and because you really need to be whatever. Anyway, like I had a respiratory therapist at night one time say to me, like, how do you come in every day? They're like, they're terrible to you. Like, how do you come in and act like no big deal? I'm like, because I'm not here for them. I'm here for the patients. And I like being a nurse. So like, whatever, I don't give a shit. But like all of the people, like after I left, got fired or demoted or whatever. So I know I wasn't the problem. So my point to you is you're not the problem. And that's what I'm getting is you're not the problem. But it's sort of like, stand up and say like, look, I'm noticing this behavior. Go to your boss and be very direct about it. When you're direct about things, they can't, like, it's like, oh, like you don't have to be mean or rude. It's just like, oh, if I'm the problem, get rid of me. But you're not the problem. You can name, you don't worry about pay. You just mention the names you want and I'll see if anything picks up. Stop being sad about it though, because it's not a true reflection of who you are. So there's an insecurity of you that's like going to bring up. This is what I learned looking back at a lot of the experiences I had where I was like, oh, I had a lot of those experiences because I had a long standing belief system about my value and my worth. And all of that. So all of these experiences were popping up. So I feel like for you is, Devery, did you see this? Brooke Still, and her website is creationcenter.org. Thank you, Linda. I'm going to write this down for my little. It's not a man, it's a female. So it's not going to be Nolan or Rashid or Arden. And I don't know if Angel is a female or male. Is Lee a female or male? Okay, give me just the female names. There's Noel. Someone's name is Spade. So Allie, just give me the female names. And it's definitely not, it's funny, I'm like, I heard female presenting, like, should I question whether or not make sure that I'm using the right terminology? It's like, no, it's like a cisgendered female. Cishet, I think it's cishet gendered female. I think that's how I say it. Or a het sits. I don't know the order, but she's and I keep seeing shorter brown hair. Nolan is a male. That's a boy's name. Oh, it's supposed to be Noel. Oh, Noel, Molly, Spade, Arden, and Angel. Which one of them has short brown hair? Is Spade a newer employee? I don't know if that's it. I also, this is the other thing is I also, I'm not 100% on this. So I feel like I don't necessarily want to go, yeah, that's who it is, because she says she's a him. Oh, maybe that's what I got. No. I feel like it's more about you going back and like kind of keeping your head down, just doing whatever. Don't get worried about it. Just be like, whatever, it's fine. It's all going to work itself out. I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, the job I'm doing. This is another example where I was like, I don't really care. I was in charge one night and like one day, and it was a 12-hour shift, but the aides had 8-hour shifts. So they switched shifts at 3. Someone was coming in and working because we had an aide that was out. So they were working a double. And I gave the regular assignments. So like it was a long-term care facility. So there was like not any new, no one was getting discharged or admitted. It was the same kids. And the aides always worked with the same kids over and over, right? So continuity of care. And so I gave her the kids that the aide that was out had. So everybody had a normal, like this was not an abnormal, crazy assignment that I gave. And she was like, I'm working a double. This is a hard stop. I don't want them. And I was like, okay. Will anybody switch with her? Like it was literally that simple. And they were like, yeah. Someone was like, yeah, I'll switch. No problem. Like it was done easy. Like this was not a big fight. I was like, yeah, sure. No problem. Let's see what we can do. Like I was like, and then the manager the next day was like, they called the union on you. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I didn't do anything wrong. So my point to you is like, kind of just be like, okay, and I did my job. I did what was asked of me. I'm doing everything as I'm supposed to do it. Like literally just follow everything to a T like you're supposed to do. So then it's like, not like, why are they checking on me? It's like, whatever, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You can check on me all day long. I don't care. Like, and then it just feels like it's not about being buddy buddy with the people you work with. I think people like get that little twisted in their head. Like you have to be friends with the people you work with. It was never like buddy buddy with, like there's a very few people along the way where I work where I became friends with them because I am so like policy oriented. Let me just do what I have to do, what needs to be done. That like if I call you on not doing the work you're supposed to be doing, I don't want you to play the friend game of like, let me manipulate you. Like, it's okay. I don't need to be, it just feels like don't take it personally if they're not friendly with you. I heard something the other day, and I think it's really important here, where it's like, when people aren't nice and kind of like catty and bitchy or really materialistic or whatever, and you're not in alignment with that, why do you want somebody like that to like you? Why do you want them to be like, because then if they like you, that means you need to be more like them. And that's not who you want to be. Right. So just do what you're supposed to do. It's not your responsibility to do their jobs. And if they're not doing their jobs, it's like, oh, they're not doing their job. Like you. And if management's like, well, you need to pick up the slack, then you're like, then you need to pay me more. Like, it's like, okay. And believe me, I know what that is to look around and be like, why aren't they doing their jobs? Like, why? I don't like, just the best thing I found is like I was always like just kept my head down, and someone was like, how do you stay here so long? I was like, I stay out of the drama. I just do what I'm supposed to do. I do my job. I do what's asked of me. I don't worry about it. I stay out of the drama. I watch everybody spin tops around me and I'm like, oh, okay. Why are you making life more difficult for yourself? You're not going crazy. So then it's like, I'm going to say this over and over to everybody over and over and over. Work on your self concept. I'm good enough. I validate myself. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. I've got my own back. I'm taking care of myself. Everything's okay. I'm safe. I'm protected. People like me. I'm lovable. I love myself. I'm a good person. I'm a good worker. Everybody knows I'm a good worker. Like, don't worry about it. Good things always happen to me. It's really important to work on that the whole time because otherwise, the old story, your subconscious will come in and be like, oh no, nobody likes me. Oh no, like that happened to me when I went out to Malibu, where I just was like a lot of my old stuff came up. I also think now that I'm looking, I'm like, and that was were also little meltdowns I was having and like little like where I was like very sensitive, very like all my neurodivergence like coming out. My spewing whatever is coming into my brain. I have to work on my filter a little bit more, like the jokes I think are funny or maybe not funny for others, like saying, the power of Christ compels you. But you're okay. You're not going to lose your job. You know what's funny is that same job where I said, if I'm the problem, fire me today. And I like totally just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm not going to be the problem here. I never want to be the problem. Get rid of me if I'm the problem. And I left. My contract ended 3 weeks before I had my daughter. like, it was like the first Monday I had off from my contract. And they were like, can you come back for another 3 weeks? And I was like, nope, I can't. I wasn't due for 6 weeks, but I had all my kids came 3 weeks early. I didn't even know I was in labor with my first one. Yeah, just be like, if I'm the problem, write me up, take care of it. I get it. I understand. I get it. You have to do your job. And like, when you start putting it that way to people, then they're like, oh, yeah, I guess you're not the problem. Because like, nope. Okay. Sorry, like those little hanger ribbons. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on tangents today. I told you my brain is all mushy. All right, so Starry Sky is not here. She wanted to know about Trump. I don't want to jump into Trump just yet. I'm gonna answer your question, Starry Sky, when you come back to listen. I'll tell you where it's at. Linda, what's your question? Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna say this because, and I'm not trying to like, is sacrum the right word? I'm like, I just need to look this up because it's just not. Maybe let me see. Like, because I'm just like, how does that twist? Yeah. How does that twist? Because that's fused. How does that twist? Because that's fused. I don't understand. That's like the bottom part of your. That's why I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I just want to look at the muscles attached to it because it's a muscle thing. Because otherwise I'll misspeak. I feel like this isn't a psychic reading. I feel like this is, well, I mean, it's sort of intuitive, but like I'm like looking so much at these. So it's like the pelvic floor muscles. So I'm like, it's not the psoas, although the psoas is partially in there because that's gonna be your hips here, which is like connected to your pelvis and stuff. So there's a few things. So the first thing I feel like is doing is like, they do the, sorry, like my words are mushing together, the trauma release with the psoas muscle, where like when you research it, you'll see that some people like have like crying afterwards, like huge emotional releases, like your body will like physically shake. Yeah, no, the sacrum is made of 5 fused vertebrae. I looked it up because I'm like, no, that's fused. So it's not. It has you have so you have the thoracic, and then like you have the lumbar, right? Cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and then the sacrum. But those are 5 fused ones, right? Right. Well, it twists, but the bones themselves are. You can twist like this, but it's not really moving because your coccyx doesn't really move. All I'm going to say is the way they're making me feel is like do a psoas release, like start looking up and researching psoas releases. I can find some, but and also doing go on YouTube, and I can send you some things for this. Go on YouTube and find the beginners Pilates where they're doing stuff to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, all the bridges and the way they teach you to breathe. I'm going to send you the person that I like, and the ones that I like, just pick you 10-20 minute ones and just do them like 3 days a week. You don't have to do it a ton. You could do like 10 minutes a day, I guess. But it's not about stretching, it's about strengthening, but doing it with those movements because they go. If you look at like Pilates and yoga, when you start like at beginner levels, it's basically like babies learning to walk, and babies don't learn to walk like just pulling themselves up, right? It starts with pushing themselves up from their tummy and doing like a cobra. Like if you look at yoga, it's like, oh, that's actually how kids learn to walk. They just don't know that that's what it's called. So your psoas muscle is, if it's tight on one side and not the other, it's going to pull and maybe cause some of the torque that you're getting. And if your pelvic floor muscles aren't strong enough, you're going to have that problem too. That's what they're telling me. I don't know what I'm talking about otherwise. Like, but it feels like those two things would be really beneficial to you. There's one way to help release the psoas is where you take 2 tennis balls and like tie them up in a sock or tie them up, or you can buy like the peanut looking massage ball. It looks like a peanut kind of, and you put like, so you find your belly button, then you find your bony process here in your hip is the best way for me to explain it. You're going to go halfway between there and put it there and like lay on it. It might hurt. So but look on YouTube for videos about this because that's what I think the issue is. So it's like one muscle is tight and the other one's not. So it's like pulling in a weird direction. And you'll probably have an emotional release when you do it. Yep. You'll know it because you'll feel like it's more tender or like, so like I guarantee you your psoas is probably tight. Just that's where we hold a lot of our trauma in our body because it's the fight or flight muscle. So I guarantee you it's going to be tight. I'm leaning more towards it being your right side than your left side, but just try them. It's a world of, and it'll be more tender. That's one way to tell. Like whenever, like if you find a spot, like normally it doesn't hurt to do this or whatever, but if it's tight, it'll feel like if your fascia is tight, it'll feel like your ear is ripping or your skin is ripping. So like I can feel this when I press here. I can feel this all the way up in the back of my ear because it's tight. So, and with muscles that are tight or have like a trigger point, they'll call it, it'll feel tender. Okay. Rothka, while you're typing your questions, I'm going to try and look at this Trump thing. So I know that a long time ago I saw him getting arrested. I do feel like he'll be found guilty, but I don't know what that looks like. My concern is all of the corruption within the courts. I do feel like with the stuff that's coming out on Ginny Thomas, that Judge Thomas will recuse himself from a lot of the stuff. I think he's going to show up sick. I got to be honest with you. I feel like he's going to all of a sudden be sick and in the hospital again and just not available. Hi, JJ. Sure. And there's something with the stuff that's going on in Florida right now with the special master type thing. And the DOJ is going to appeal it to the 11th Circuit Court. I think it's going to get taken care of there. I don't think they're going to kick it back to the lower court. And I don't think they're going to push it forward to the higher court. I don't think it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. My sense is that the judge that's on the case right now that got basically handpicked by Trump, who's not, according to legal experts, because I don't know anything about this, apparently she's not qualified for the position. I feel like my sense is like she gave Donald what he wanted because she's worried about retaliation, and she's worried about going missing. So that's my feeling. Okay. I'll let her know that's around 54 minutes. Okay, I'm dealing with two situations, as you know, where I'm separately supporting two people who are in proximity to people who are very abusive to me. It's very triggering indeed. On top of this, I'm dealing with some of my old heart stuff. I feel very destabilized, hoping for guidance, advice on managing, moving through it. And okay, so let's start there. So the first thing I get is really just remembering self-care first. And I don't know that this is psychic. So it's just like remembering your boundaries, knowing that it's okay. Like as much as you want to be supportive of that person, if it's creating an issue where you're now having to open up your boundaries, have your boundaries being crossed, then it's not the right solution. I do feel like it's really important to maintain your boundaries while also teaching that other person how to develop their own boundaries. I always get examples of the way I'm explaining it to you so that you understand. Like, so I do not speak to either of my sisters. I don't speak to them because they are one is severely mentally ill and the other is whatever. I told you we have a lot of trauma from growing up. So it is not healthy to maintain relationships with them for my own mental health, for my kids' mental health, everything else. Like it's just not, we just don't, whatever. That said, and my mom and I talk and we're on good terms, but for a while it was like she would be upset because they were doing a lot of really abusive stuff with her. Like I have maintained like zero contact with them. I'm very firm about that. I want nothing to do with them. Like it's clear they have not taken care of their own stuff. She would call me and complain because she was upset, and rightfully so. It's very upsetting when you're first learning to set boundaries with people who are mentally ill and who are abusive. But I finally had to say to her, I love you and I'm here for you. You get 10 minutes to complain and then we're done, because I don't want to spend 4 hours, because then why did I set this boundary with them if I'm going to sit here and spend all this time with you immersed in jumping into all of the stuff? So it's like, be supportive, but set very tight boundaries and don't jump in the deep end with them, and just say, like, I'll be here with you in the deep end for 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes today. And then, but this is what I did. This is how I maintained it. This is what, and this is why I do what I do. And like, um, it feels like everyone will understand when you make that declaration. I don't talk a lot about my personal stuff, other than I'm in very general terms. It does feel really awful. And it's like, um, for the one case where it feels like, that's the person that would be considered a peer, I guess is the best way to say it. It is to let them know that they are, because I'm trying not to give too many details. It feels like to let them know that they're not crazy, that you're here. I think that's the most important. Like, yes, this stuff is going on. Um, I will say that some of the, like, when you're in the thick of like in an abusive situation and people's behavior is not right, and you're like, what's going on? Why is no one like, like, what's wrong with me? Kind of like what this other person is in that position. Just having somebody's acknowledge that, yes, these people are this way. Like, you aren't crazy. This is really happening to you, is massive. Okay, JJ, I'll check in just a minute. I don't feel like this is something you're supposed to take on as like a, I am the hero and rescuer. It's just like being there. That's your anxiety brain for sure. Because remember, the difference between anxiety and intuition. Intuition is calm, even if it's like a not great information coming through. Like, when I got that my car was going to fly off the road, I wasn't driving. It was my friend was driving, but the car I was in was going to fly off the road. It was like, oh, the car's going to fly off the road up there. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Like, it's not like, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's like, all right, cool. We'll be like, let's go. Like, it's very, very calm. Your anxiety brain is like, oh my God, let's get it. It's like a nag. It's annoying. It's obnoxious. So it's like, okay, they're fine. So then you need to go back and be the grown up. It's okay. We got this. Even if that does happen, we're prepared. We got it. Like, it's like, well, we've got insurance. We're good. Like, it's going to be good. Like, it's just like being logical about it. The anxiety brain is not logical. The anxiety brain is just like, take off and go with it. Okay. Okay. Question 2, in general, spiritual question about difficult people. I have compassion for people who are trapped by their brain chemistry, and I struggle with how to understand it from a spiritual perspective. Okay. I actually don't think that it's necessarily brain chemistry. I used to like go within that because that's like what the psych community said, and we just want to be correct. But they've come out and said, like, with antidepressant medications, that like, oh, we knew they didn't work all along. Like, how fucked up is that? And a lot of them are hard to get off of. So from a spiritual standpoint, so I believe everybody is intuitive, psychic, has the ability to connect. I believe that people who are neurodivergent, ADHD, ASD, that's autism spectrum, and even schizophrenia is considered a neurodivergence, by the way. Isn't that interesting? I believe they are all easily able to tap into. They're easily able to tap into intuition. They just know things. Or, I fully, like, having worked with a lot of autism before I even knew I could do this, I was like, it's like they just know things. And I have a cousin who worked with autistic kids, and she's like, they knew what their present was. Even there was no way they could have known their present. Like, they were able to. I'm like, yeah, they're totally connected with energy. So what I feel like happens with people who are somebody who's like schizophrenic or has psychotic episodes and things like that, they're just not really grounded. So they have the ability, but they don't know how to ground into it and be settled in it and recognize. That's my feeling. And I believe in attachments and things like that. So because I've seen them, I've experienced them. And attachments can be spirits that were here but didn't feel they could cross over because they were not good enough based on some societal religious belief system. There's other things too that aren't really that either, but they're not as nasty as the earthbound ones. Unsurprising. Yeah. We talk about people. Yeah. I don't. Okay. Are we then talking about people being terrible people if they're being harmful? Hannah, where would somebody? It's so having a sister who has a lot of mental health issues. I don't think she's a terrible person, but she can be real mean. Like really nasty and mean, but I don't think she's a terrible person. And when I say, I mean, like, I have a stack of emails, which I started blocking her and everything else, but I had a stack of emails this thick, and that did not include any of the text messages and phone calls she sent me, where I actually ended up going to a police station in my town asking figure out how to get a restraining order, which he was like, you qualify for one. Like, this stuff is insane. This is like bad, because I was really worried about like her calling CPS or something on me with like she had all these crazy accusations, like we're devil worshippers and all of that other stuff. And she accused me of all kinds of crazy stuff, like killing my children, which they're very much alive. You've heard them interrupt me. Anyway, they're enrolled in school. But I was worried about like all of that, like if I don't do something, and I didn't want her to be in prison. I wanted her just to get some mental help. So we ended up going another route. But that said, like, I don't think she's an evil, bad, terrible human being. I just think she's like really unbalanced, and I feel bad for her, but not enough to want her in my life. I do believe people that are mentally ill like that have the capacity to know that something's wrong. Um, and to not want to help themselves. Much like having addiction issues is a mental health issue. You still have to want to help yourself. Okay. Hi, Ishika. It's hard to navigate. It's really hard to navigate. It's not a cut and dry. A lot of the people who are homeless and schizophrenic aren't homeless because they aren't offered opportunities. They actually don't want to. I mean, a lot of the shelters are very scary and not very safe anyway, but they don't want to go there because they are so paranoid. They feel safer on the street. You're welcome. There are mean, nasty people who are perfectly mentally well. They're not happy. I mean, like that person coming on here, like, are you a hypocrite? Like, you can't be a happy person and like want to troll people. Like you just can't. You can't love yourself and be like, let's go troll people. Let's make, like you just, you just can't. Well, I mean, what else am I going to do? But honestly, if you're going to troll me, let's use the right vocabulary, right? You're thinking I'm a charlatan, not a hypocrite. That's not the right word. And I'm not a grammar or vocabulary person. I also think it's weird. I think it's so weird when people like, if you read through threads and someone clearly didn't type the right word or they misspelled something and like someone feels the need to be like spell it the right way. Like, come on, just let it go. It doesn't matter. Your day is going to move on. Do you feel smarter now? Like, you know how to spell it. Like, let that poor person go. And if they missed it on their autocorrect, like whatever. Maybe they just don't know, but it's not your job to like, you don't just let them go. Don't make them feel less than because of that. That's just so silly. We don't need to do that to people. Like just move on. Your day will continue. It's okay. All right. JJ, go ahead and ask your question. Yeah, I mean, I just think JJ, I'm giving you your money back today and I'm just going to talk to you. Because I feel like this isn't psychic. It's like, I feel like it's doing you a disservice. So here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to give you your money back, but we're just going to chat. Because I feel like, let's just chat. Because I feel like you know the answer already, right? So you know the answer. But my question to you is, why is WS so amazing? And I'm doing the money back right now so that, okay? So that you can tell everybody I gave you your money back. Issuing you a refund. Okay. Done. Refunded. Why is that person so amazing that you would feel bad about them treating you like garbage? I mean, it feels bad to have somebody treat you like garbage, but I'm saying this because I dated a lot of people. And I cried a lot of tears over people that do not deserve my tears. What's wrong with me? Why don't they like me? Why am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not smart enough? Do I not have the good enough body? Am I not established enough? I dated one guy who got an undergrad and his master's from Harvard in physics. And he went to some kind of private boarding school for prep school, whatever. And he made sure he knew he could write a check out for his car and didn't understand why anybody had health insurance. This is the kind of, like, why would I date that kind of person? I don't know. I was bored. It was only like a 2-month thing. I knew it wasn't going anywhere. I just thought, this is interesting. Um, and he was boring. But it was like there was a point where I felt like not wealthy enough for him. Like not like I didn't have like the I don't know. I mean, if you know me, you know I'm a simple person. Like I don't get caught up in I would rather pay for somebody to make me a nice handmade bag than spend, like a good amount of money on it than get something that says Louis Vuitton on it. Like that's just me. He makes you feel like you're not worthy. So he can't be that amazing if he isn't respectful. That doesn't sound like an amazing person to me. Sounds like a dickhead. Like, it's even disrespectful, I think, like, if you have no interest in a person, you can be polite without leading them on or just have an adult conversation. Like, I like you as a friend, but I don't see us going anywhere romantically. Like, it's okay to be an adult and have that conversation. That's what adults with healthy communication do. It's just like, there's no point. It's not to be mean. It's not mean to tell somebody that. It's mean to like be all like, oh yeah, and then like won't like then just ignore you and drop you and treat you like shit. That doesn't sound like a great person. So he's not worthy of you. And that's where I'm going to say it all the time. Like I say it all the time, work on your self concept so that you don't settle for less than you deserve and that you're worth. And deserving does not mean like I earned it. I put in the work. It's like deserving is like all human beings deserve to be treated with respect and kindness and caring and love. All of us. We all deserve it by being born because we are a spark of light and we are all interconnected. So when you're nasty and shitty to another person, you're being nasty and shitty to yourself. Because we're all a part of this bigger thing. You are worthy and valuable, and you deserve to have somebody treat you with respect. You don't need to just like, oh, well, he's good looking. So, like, he can act like shit. Like, ew. You are worthy. Like, it's sort of like we're like, I spent a lot of time going, well, what's wrong with me? It's like, well, what's wrong with him? Like, why is he so good that I'd be even bothering? Like, he acts this way. How does that make him so wonderful? It doesn't make him wonderful. He's just a shithead. He's being a shithead. A shithid. He's shitty. I mean, I'm not saying he's a total piece of crap garbage person, like he has no value. It's just like, but that's shitty behavior. Like, be a grown up, sir. And you don't have time to date little boys. We don't date boys. We don't date children. Children act like that. We don't need to date children. When you grow up and you're mature and you have like healthy sense of self, yeah, you don't deserve behavior like that. You deserve kindness. I mean, the other thing is I always say this. When people are dating and you're first getting to know them, even if you're not dating, you're just first getting to know them, they put their best foot forward, right? You always get to see their best behavior. And if that's his best behavior, it goes downhill from there. It doesn't get better because people get comfortable. People stop, whatever. And if you're having to work hard for it, just for bare minimum, you're going to be miserable. You deserve better. So start doing the affirmation. Start talking nicely to yourself. Don't ask what's wrong with me that he can't see me. It's like, oof, what's wrong with me that I'm even bothering, wasting my time with him? Nothing. I'm just accepting less because I didn't really believe in my worth, but I am worthy. I am valuable. I am enough. I am deserving. The other thing is you are whole and complete just as you are. You don't need anybody to completely you. You will not be somehow a better human being if you're married. And I know our society teaches us that, but like marriage is hard. Relationships are hard. They are the things that push you and make you grow. But pick someone who sees how amazing and wonderful you are so that they want to grow with you instead of grow apart from you. Who cares why you're not married? Because God is saving someone really special for me, and I haven't met him yet. Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. Don't. Or just tell people because there's something wrong with me. Like, just fuck with people's head a little bit. It's okay. It's nobody's business. But there's nothing wrong with you. But if you start to get into that fear and that mentality, like then you're going to end up accepting somebody who's not worthy of it, and you're going to regret it, and you're going to be like, ugh. And it's a lot. So, all right. I'm going to say goodnight. I hope y'all have an amazing week ahead of you. Oh, if you were here last week, Starry Sky said her wife's surgery went textbook like I said it would. So that's good. Wonderful, wonderful. People judge success on a lot of different things. And listen to me, nobody can tell you you're successful or valuable. Only you can. Only you get to decide your worth. Okay? Have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Devery, I'm going to email you, okay? All right.